What's up, y'all, and welcome back to Keep It Techie, where I show you how to use Linux and level up in the tech game. I'm your host, Josh, and today we're talking about MinIO, a super fast S3 compatible object storage server that's lightweight, scalable, and perfect for both home lab enthusiasts and enterprise setups. And in this video, I'll walk you through how to set up MinIO on Rocky Linux 9.5, and we'll cover everything from installation to configuring the basics, plus troubleshooting a common SE Linux issue that many folks encounter. So stick around and let's get started. All right, so I'm at min.io, and of course I'll have the link down in the description of the video, but let's talk about why you'd even want to use MinIO. Think of it as your personal Amazon S3 storage solution, but without paying that hefty AWS bill. MinIO is great for backing up your critical data, whether for your home lab or business, also serving files for web applications or containerized environment, also storing mass data sets for machine learning or AI workflows. And because it's open source, you get complete control and flexibility. You can scale it from a single node in your home lab to a distributed cluster for your entire organization. And just to show you guys how to actually get it, you can go in here under open source. There is the documentation. You can check that out. The development guides and all that stuff. You can go to the GitHub community. You can check that out as well. You can also download the open source server, the client, and the SDK for your phone. So you can get MinIO, the open source version of it. And then I also have the GitHub page for MinIO, so you guys can check it out. It has the AGPL 3.0 license. It's a lot of people stored this project and watching this project, a bunch of forks, bug fixes is actively being worked on. There's a big company behind it, obviously. So you guys can check it out for yourself. They do have a way for you to set it up using Docker, but I'm gonna show you guys how to set it up directly on your server and use it as your personal Amazon S3 storage solution. So let's hop over and go through the install. Hey y'all, Josh here from Keep It Techie. Real quick, let's talk about Rocky Linux. This distro is the real deal if you're looking for a solid enterprise-ready Linux solution. It all started after Red Hat dropped CentOS, and Gregory Kurtzer, the OG co-founder of CentOS, brought us Rocky Linux as a tribute to his late friend, Rocky McGough. This is community-driven, open source software at its finest, and it's already making waves. Rocky Linux 8.10 is out now, giving you that enterprise-grade stability without all the Red Hat licensing headaches. So whether you're running a home lab or a full-on data center, Rocky's got your back. So if you want to keep it open source and keep your data secure, check out Rocky Linux. The link's down in the description of the video. It's built by the community, for the community, and it's here to stay. Stay techie, y'all. All right, so I'm logged into my Rocky Linux 9.5 server, and the first thing you want to do is update your system. And that's to ensure all packages are current. So let's run through that right fast. So let's type sudo dnf updates and then -y. And I'm sure the system is up to date. And I should have cleared, but I'm SSH'd into the server just so you guys know it's on my network. But let's clear the screen so you guys can see it at the top. But let's also just check to verify that we have a couple dependencies on here, which I'm sure we do. A lot of these packages are installed on the server, but just want to verify, and I want you guys to verify as well. So make sure wget is on your system, make sure nano is on your system. It should be on your system. And then also Firewall D, which is definitely on your system, I know for sure. So let's type -y there. It's gonna check and it's gonna say they're already installed. So that's good to go. We don't need to install any other dependencies. I just wanted to verify that those packages were there. So we're good to go. Now we need to grab the latest MinIO binary. And let me show you guys where to get that from. And what I'm gonna do is paste it in here, paste the link right fast. So I'm gonna type wget, and then we're gonna paste this link in here, and I'll show you guys where I got it from right fast. And I already have it in my notes. But let me show you where I got it from right fast. So let's go back to the website. If you go back to the MinIO website, and don't you remember I was talking about the download link? So you want to click here under downloads, and this will open up the download page. And then all you have to do is select Linux. So it all depends on what you're using. Obviously AMD 64, which is fine. That's what I want. And this actually walks you through how to actually do everything right there as far as setting up that binary on your system. But I'm gonna do it slightly different, and I'll show you guys what I'm doing. So let's switch back over to the terminal, download that binary and press enter. It'll download it for us. It'll take a couple seconds. It's not that big, and boom. All we have to do is make this thing executable now. So let's type chmod because it's stored in our location that we're in, which is our home directory. So chmod plus then x and then MinIO, or we could tab it out and that'll find it for us. And now we need to move that executable file under our bin directory under user local. So let's go down and move it there. That way everyone can access it, like all accounts can access it. So let's type sudo move and then our MinIO file, and we'll move it under user local and then bin, and then we can move it to that location. Rocky Linux, I'm sure you're using SE Linux if you install default, and it's probably blocking MinIO from running. So we can check that by running a specific command right fast. Let me clear right fast. All you got to do is run ls, and then we can use a specific flag, and it's dash capital Z, and then /user /local bin, and then min.io. Press enter, and what you're looking for is this right here to say bin_t. That's where it's blocked at right there. That says user_home_t. That's what you need to change. So you need to reset the file. So let's go down and reset the file right fast, and this will restore those permissions for it. So it'll fix the permissions denied error that you'll see when we try to start MinIO. I just want to show you guys this, so in case you run into this issue, you get everything set up correctly. You run into an issue where it says permissions denied. If you look through the logs, when it's trying to start the service, this is most likely what's causing the issue. It's sudo restore and then econ, I believe, and then -v, and then that file. So it's user local bin, and then our min.io file. Press enter, and as you can see, it's relabeled. It'll say, it should say bin_t. That's what we're looking for. It's going to change it from that user home, which that's where it was originally stored. That's why you basically have to update it to where it's under bin now. So SE Linux won't block the permissions of it, essentially. All right, let's go down clear, because next, let's create an environmental file to store MinIOS's configuration. So I already have some of this stuff I already typed out. It's, like I said, it's in the documentation, and I'll just use some defaults that I came up with, and I'll show you guys what I mean by that. But you can set this up however you want it, but this is your main configuration file. And then you can also set up your drives however you want to. I'm just giving you guys a base level setup, and then you can modify it as you see fit. So you need to store your configuration file under etc default, and then you can create a MinIO file underneath it. It doesn't have to have an extension on it. Boom, we can open up that file using nano, and let's go down and copy and paste our configuration in there, and I'll break it down for you. So we got our MinIO user. That's our root user. I just named it admin. And then we also just gave it a password. Now you can change this to whatever you want to. You can make it as secure as possible. And now this is where I'm going to store my volumes. So just so you guys know, this will be a directory I have not created yet, but this is the directory that I'm gonna name it, MinIO-data. That's what I'm gonna name it. And it'll be under my mount directory, so MNT. And then also this is our connection. So console address, which is basically the IP address, and then the ports right there, that's default, that's standard. Now, let's go and save this. You'll see this in the documentation. Just look through the documentation. Now let's set up our data directory, like what I was talking about as far as that location where we want to store our data. And so first off, you want to make that directory. So we can type sudo mkdir and then -p, and we need to create our mount. It should be there. I'm just putting p just in case. Sure, it's there. Yeah. And then IO, and you want to make sure you type it out right, because the configuration won't be able to find it unless you type the names exactly the way you put them in the configuration file. So MinIO dash data. And like I said, you can name it however you want to. You just need to put it in correctly in both places. Let's go down, press enter. That saves that. Now let's go down and add a group right fast. You can do it this way, it doesn't matter. So we can go group add dash or, and then you want to name that whatever you want to name the group. So we can name it dash user. Boom, press enter. And then now let's go down and add our user, and then we'll add our user to that group as well. So we'll use the user add command, and then dash or, and then dash g, and then MinIO dash user. And so that's the user in the group. And let's go down, press enter. Should be good to go. And then now let's give ownership of that user and group to that directory, because we're going to specify that as the data location that user and group has full control and access to. So let's type sudo chown and then dash or, and then we want to put that MinIO dash user, and then we also want to put the group, so MinIO dash user, and then we want to specify their location, so the mounts, and then the min.o dash data, take that / off, and then press enter, and that'll give it that permissions for that whole directory and anything that's added beneath it. Now let's go down and create the service, and this is super simple. I'm sure you guys have created services before, and actually let's clear right fast. I already had a service written out, but I'll walk you guys through everything I'm putting in the file. So we're going to use nano again, because this needs to go into the systemd directory, etc systemd, and then system, and then we want to create a service called MinIO.service, and this will allow us to run our server as a service essentially. So let's go down and press enter, and now we just need to put our configuration in there, which I already have written out, and I'll show you guys what it's going to do. Paste this in there. So here we go. So this is a description. So MinIO object storage network dash online.target. Yeah, that's a normal service. So the user is the min.o user. The group is the min.o user. That's the group name. The environment file, don't you remember, that is our configuration file. And then our exec start, this is the executable file we put under bin. And then also the rest of the information for executing the actual server or starting the server. This gives it the op, and this gives it the volume location. And then it'll restart always. And then this is default. So let's go down and save this right fast. Boom, press enter, good to go. And now whenever you add a new service, you gotta reload it. So all you gotta do is type systemctl daemon reload and refresh. It'll basically check for any new configurations on the system. And then next you can go down and type systemctl, because it'll recognize our new service that we created, and it's IO service. Press enter, it'll create the symbolic link, so it'll enable that service. So each time the system reboots, it'll start the IO service. And now we can go down and start it, and then also check the status right after we start it. So let's go down and start it. Boom. Didn't see any errors, so I'm assuming it started, but you always want to check the status. That way you can get the proper information. And there we go, it's active and started, and it is running. And that is the IP addresses it's being pushed out on. The API, the web, obviously the doc, but that's how we access our web UI. So all we have to do is go to that IP address and that port, and that'll get us to the web UI. And this is our API link right here. So just so you guys know. Now, one other thing you want to do before moving on, you just want to make sure you're not being blocked by the firewall, because I don't know if the firewall is set up by default on here, but we'll find out. So we'll just go down and open up the port. So firewall dash cmd, and then what is it? Dash zone equals public. Port equals 9000. And what, TCP? So it's a TCP port, and then dash permanent, and this will make sure it stays open after reboot. Firewall command, I'm just verifying it, just make sure it's right, and I believe it is right. So let's go down and press enter. Yeah, success. All right, and then let's also do 9 zone public. Yeah, cool. And then I think last we need to reload it. Reload our firewall. Boom, good to go. All right, so our firewall is fixed. Let's go down and clear again. We don't need to, but MinIO is up and running. So that didn't take too long, right? Now, one thing we have to remember is within our configuration file, defaults, and then what is it, MinIO? Let's go down and cat that out right fast. So this is our login and our password. Just like that, I'm saying a secure password. and then also admin. So that is our password to log in. So let's go down and switch over to our website so we can log in to our server. All right, so let's go down, open up a new tab and type in our IP address. So let's go 10.10.0.108 and then port 9001. And let's press enter. That'll get us there. And as you can see, it doesn't have a cert, but you can easily install a cert. I got videos showing you guys how to install a cert. All you have to do is log in with that account I just showed you guys. So admin, and then I grab that password. So just paste it in there and then log in. It's gonna ask me to save it. Nope. And this will get you in there. So good to go. So one thing I'll show you guys right fast. I won't show you guys too much on it. Let's make it dark. But create a bucket. Let's just create this test bucket, boom. And you have a couple of options here. Let me show you guys the rules right fast. So the naming convention of the rules, boom. As you can see, it's in compliance. You can set up versioning. You can turn that on. Object locking. You can turn that on. Quotas. You can turn that on. And it has a breakdown of everything that's talking about over here on the right. And you can also check out the documentation. It's super simple. But let's create that bucket. So boom, there we go. It's got our usage, the amount of objects, access, rewrite, boom, all that good stuff. And you can create other buckets depending on whatever you need the space for. And there's a lot of features in here. You can check it out. Policies, you got identities, users, groups, open IDs. It even has LDAP connections, so you can connect to LDAP, monitoring. Let's minimize that, but you got monitoring, metrics, so you can check that out. And I ain't want to go too deep into it. I just want to show you guys an overview, but you can log, audit, events. You can do some more configuration like compression. This is where your API setup is, scanners. Let me see what else. Audit webhooks. Let's see what else might be interesting to you guys. And if you want to pay for the license, if it's a business or something, you're going to run this for a business, a big operation, or you have a lot of people hitting the data or something, you have to put it in big server rack or something like that, and you need support and all that stuff, then you pay for the licensings. But other than that, it's open source, free to use, the community edition, and use it for your personal home lab as much as you want. All right, so we got our test bucket set up. Let me hop back over to the terminal and quickly show you guys how to use the client right fast. And I'll just use the same server. It's fine. I'll be connecting from the same server, but you can use this from a different system. Let's go back. Let's clear right fast. But essentially, it's super quick. I'll show you guys how to get the client, and this link is on their website. So all you had to do is find the MC or the client link, which was on that same page as the server. So you use the wget command and then paste that link in there, boom, and press enter. That'll download MC, which is the client. So it's MinIO or MinIO client. And let's go down and clear right fast, and let's chmod, and then let's make it executable MC and press enter. That'll make it execute. And now let's move it. So move MC to our user local, and then /bin, put it in there and press enter. Type in our sudo password right fast, boom. Now we also have to fix those permissions. So let's just go down and run that right fast, just in case. Was it restore? And then -v, and then /user local, and then bin, and then MC, and press enter, and that'll get it straight for us. So let's go down and clear again. All right, so now we need to create an alias right fast, and it's using the MC command. It's different from like setting an alias on your system within your bash RC or something like that. You got to use the MC command. So MC, and then there is an alias. And then we can set the alias, and we need to give it a name. So we could do my MinIO, that's fine. And then we can put in the name of the server or the IP address of the server. So let me switch back over to the browser. And what I'm gonna do is just grab the address, and let me show you guys something right fast. When you connect them from the command line, it's not 9001. That's only for the web UI. So let's switch back over to our terminal, just so you guys know. And then we need to specify our account, which is that admin account that we got. And then we need to specify our password, which was that secure password, all one word, and then press enter, and that'll add our alias for MC. All right, so now let's test the connection right fast. What I'm gonna do is create a file. I'm gonna show you guys how to upload something and download something right fast. So let's create a file right fast. Let's just use the touch command, or actually let's just use nano. So nano test file and then let's put some in there. Test for MinIO. And let's go and save that right fast. Press enter. But we got us a file and we got some data in it. That's good to go. Now, one thing you need to remember is the bucket name. So let's switch back over to the website right fast, but we named it test bucket. So let's go back over to our terminal. So we know what it is. We know it is test bucket. That's what we named it. So let's go down and copy our file up. So all we had to do is type MC and then the copy command. So CP and then our file. What our file is test file.txt, and then we want to put it in our test bucket because you can have multiple buckets up there. So you have to specify the bucket that you want to put it in. So let's go down and press enter and it should copy it up there. Yeah, and as you can see, it was quick, simple because it was a very small file. Now let's switch back over to the browser right fast and let's just kind of refresh. You'll see one object in there is 15 bytes. You can look at it. There we go. It's got that test file up there. So good to go. And you can also upload from here. And I just wanted to show you guys that right fast, but you can download pretty much the exact same way. Let's remove this test file locally. What I'm gonna do is remove it locally, boom. And if we ls this directory, you'll see no test file there. And actually, I just realized you guys didn't see that. So let me switch back over to the terminal. But as you can see, I just removed that file, but I just ran a ls, good to go. And then let's go down and do a MC copy. And then from my MinIO, and we want to copy it from the test buckets. And we want to copy it the test file. What was the name of it? Test file.txt. So test file.txt. And then we want to copy it down to, I'm gonna put the full directory. So the full name of the directory. So home Josh, we're gonna put it in our home directory. And then press enter. And I'll download the file for us to the location. So all you have to do is do the opposite, put it in that location. Now, if we ls this directory, boom, you'll see the test file is there and we download it from the server. So that's an upload, download real quick, super simple. And that's it, folks. You've got MinIO installed, configured, and ready to use on Rocky Linux 9.5. And with MinIO, you've got a powerful, flexible, and open source object storage solution that rivals the big cloud providers, but without the cost. And if you enjoyed this video, do me a favor, go down and hit that like button, subscribe to Keep It Techie, and drop a comment down below if you have any questions or suggestions for future tutorials. Until next time, keep it tech. Whenever I talk to people, whenever I mentor people dealing with, getting into tech, you got to figure out what you like or what you're interested in. Because yeah, a lot of people get into the tech field because you can make a good amount of money. The money is the motivator, but you also, in my opinion, in order for you to be happy, you gotta like what you're doing. You know what I'm saying? And so, like for me, a lot of times it doesn't feel like work, bro. Most times it really doesn't feel like work. I'm doing something fun. I'm doing something I love to do. You know what I'm saying? So that's what makes it, great for me.